Hi, I just wanted to do a brief overview of the MachMotion tube bender control. There are three main modes: automatic mode, manual mode, and program mode. In manual mode, you can manually move every function of the control. You select what you would like to do of jog or latch. I'm going to jog right now and select your function. I will select clamp, and as long as I hold down the jog button, it will move that function. I can go forward and backwards. I can jog the pressure die in and out just for testing purposes or for setting up a new part. There's also axes. I can select the axis, and as long as I hold down the jog keys, you can see that I am rotating right here with this position, the B axis. There's also latch mode, which will allow the function to jog until it receives an input or to go a specific amount. So for example, on the B axis right now, if I press the plus jog button, it will move 400 degrees. And if I press the jog minus button, it will move back 400 degrees. There's also bend. I can simulate, or actually I could bend tubing in here if I wanted to. Right now, based on this position, my C axis is out. I'm going to go ahead and return that. Turns on the pressure and moves the clamps out, and it's ready for you to insert your tube. I can put in my tube and press the jog plus button, and it clamps the collet and does the whole sequence with the pressure die and the clamp coming in. I can go ahead and hit the negative button, and it returns the C axis to where it was. Also, I can jog the pressure die in or out under latch mode, and it will, for example, I can jog it out. It moves out until it receives the out switch. I can jog it in, and it moves in until it receives the in switch. So again, in manual mode, you can use to set up your tools or move the functions back just for any type of testing purposes. Probably the mode you'll spend the most time in is automatic mode. In automatic mode, you can select a file you would like to run. We'll go ahead and do that. Click the load button, load in your previous part file. Here it shows the part name, what bend you're on. It's ready for you to press cycle start. I'm going to go ahead and press cycle start. It prepares the machine to insert a tube. Here it shows that it's moving to load position. It's at the load position right here. The carriage is. The collet's open. It's ready for you to insert your pipe. After the pipe is inserted, I can press cycle start, and it begins the bend. As you can see, as it's operating, it can show you exactly what's happening at every stage here. I had an optional stop set in there so I can make sure that the part looks good. I'm going to go ahead and press cycle start, and it will continue to run. I could also select stop after bend. That would pause the machine after every bend to make sure that everything looks right. Right here you have the parts needed. Here's the parts made. At the end of this file, this will be incremented. It also shows how long it's taken to run this part. It has completed the first part. I could remove that part, put in the next tube, and press cycle start and continue. Or in this instance, let's go ahead and review program mode. Program mode, you have all the information that makes your part. Under part configuration, set up your diameter, your thickness. You can set up your spring back, pressure die interference zone. You can select what you want the machine to do in load. When I just begin running a part, where do you want it to go in load position? Do you want the pressure die out, or do you want it in? You can write notes to yourself here. This is just basically the settings used for everything else in program mode. You also have this button here to select a tool set, and you can load in a previous tool set. Right now we don't have much populated, but you can load in another tool set and it loads in all the data here. You bump over here to LRAs. This shows the actual links for each part. If we go down to bend 2, remember we had to press cycle start in the program. That was because I had selected this. Depending on what sequence you have, you can stop function at different parts in the program to just make sure that everything looks correct. Also, for every individual bend, you can set the speeds for each axis. You could say the B, I want to go very slowly. You can select the sequence of movement. If you want the Y axis and then the C and then the B to move, or if you want them to move all simultaneously, and you can do everything in between. You can, I'm going to go ahead and deselect this. You can select the pressure that you want the carriage pushing the pipe through as it does a bend. I could press this and it would write these settings to all bends, or I could go through and configure these settings for every single bend. For this example, let's go ahead and just increase the length here, and I'm going to set that the actual bend angle to 80 degrees. That's as simple as it is to make changes. I can run this carriage safety check and just verify that everything looks correct, that it ran, and it says it ran right here. Okay, so the tube length is too short, so I can't actually go 4 inches like I just did. Carriage safety check is supposed to verify that your tube length is correct and that all the interferences are met. I'm going to go ahead and set that to 2. I'm going to run that again, and now it passed successfully. So with my changes here, I can close the program. Do you want to save changes? Yes. And it bumps us back over here to automatic mode. With our changes, let's go ahead and cycle through this next part. Just press cycle start, it moves to load position. I put in my tube, press cycle start again, and it moves to the first bend location. Right here, you have remote start, so you could use a foot pedal to cycle through parts also. Of course, it has a safety mat and all the other standard tube bender functions. We do have integration to supervision measuring machine, with more machines coming soon. Right here, you can select your part, you can send it, or you can receive parts, and then just load them into the software here and run. So you can see it's ready for the next part to be inserted, and you can continue bending. I hope that helps. It's just a brief overview of the MachMotion tube bender control. Thank you very much.